I've always said that I thought national service was a ridiculous idea, because why would you want to impose, in many instances, a group of recalcitrant young people on a rather well-drilled military? Why should they have to look after them? But let's talk through the plan. It was announced on Sunday. That morning, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak posted a video on TikTok, where else, to explain the thinking behind his big announcement directly to the younger audience who it would impact.
Sorry to be breaking into your usual politics-free feed, but I'm making a big announcement today, and I've been told that a lot of you already have some views on it. So, first thing, no, I'm not sending everyone off to join the army. What I am doing is proposing a bold new model of national service for 18-year-olds. They'll be able to choose to spend 12 months in a full-time military commission, or 1 weekend per month volunteering in roles within your local community, like delivering prescriptions and food to elderly people, or in search and rescue. This will give all young people valuable life skills, make our country more secure, and build a stronger national culture. Plus, people will receive best-in-class training in critical skills, from cyber to civil engineering and leadership.
By the way, for those of you not familiar with TikTok, I probably should have explained those are sound effects. It's not him doing strange noises, but it's just incongruous. It'd be like me appearing as a ballet dancer. There's just some things you don't do you? Do you? It didn't take long for the backlash to begin, including from within Conservative ranks. For example, it emerged the Veterans Minister, Johnny Mercer, who has a distinguished military background himself, had criticised the idea of national service in an interview with my LBC colleague Ian Dale just last week.
It's not a kind of social movement. It's a professional, ability to defend the nation, to fight, to operate as formed units and so on. So I'm not sure it'd be a good idea. I mean, we have things like the citizenship service, don't we? And there's lots of other things you can get involved with. But, never say never, see what happens.
And in a subsequent interview with LBC yesterday, Johnny Mercer confirmed he was now strongly in support of the proposal. But the headaches for Rishi Sunak did not stop there. Also yesterday, Northern Ireland Minister Steve Baker, who I've referenced earlier, claimed the policy had been sprung on ministers, while it emerged just last week Defence Minister Andrew Murison had suggested a form of national service could, and I quote, damage morale, recruitment and retention, close quotes, in the armed forces. Yesterday, the Foreign Office Minister Anne-Marie Trevelyan was on LBC defending the policy.
Once this is a mandatory part of a young person's development and progress, employers would expect to ask the question, so, tell me what you did as part of your national service. So a small proportion, the number set out is 30,000, would have the opportunity to competitively apply for a one-year commission in the military through from the services and cyber and so on. But the vast majority would do volunteering 1 weekend a month in their communities through some of the many incredible organisations that we have, which hold together the fabric of our society.
Elsewhere, Ms Trevelyan hinted parents could yet end up being fined if their children fail to take part in this scheme. Perhaps unsurprisingly, this didn't go down well with Labour. Here's Leader of the Opposition, Sir Keir Starmer, at a speech in West Sussex.
The desperation of this national service policy, a sort of teenage dad's army, paid for, I kid you not, by cancelling levelling up funding and money from tax avoidance that we would use to invest in our NHS.
Lieutenant General Sir Simon Mayall, former Deputy Chief of the Defence Staff, joins me now. Lieutenant General, do you imagine that your former colleagues would want thousands of recalcitrant teenagers visited upon them? Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. There's a huge amount of detail hidden in the term national service, as you well know, Nick. The knee-jerk reaction is universal conscription.
Yes.
Spud peeling, boot whatevering.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at various other nations, Norway, Denmark, there are some very imaginative schemes, and I would say for improving national resilience, for upskilling people. Keir Starmer laughing at the levelling up. Well, that's exactly what we do in the army. We level up. I was out with my own regiment in Poland the other day, and I was saying to the youngsters there how fortunate they were to be in an organisation that gave them purpose, mentors, role models, genuinely cared for them, trained them, etc. I don't think we appear to be talking about, as I say, universal conscription. But you could make something a very, very attractive offer where you could fill out, I suppose, small numbers of people who are specially selected. So I think there's a sort of lot of politicking here. I'm encouraged that I think Rishi Sunak has talked about a royal commission. This is something you need to be very clear what it's designed to achieve. very clear that it can be implemented in a highly professional manner and needs to be communicated properly. So there'll be a lot of huroosh around it. But elements of it, I would argue, for youngsters and for the nation, I think could have real benefit. What it must not do, of course, is detract an already far too small armed forces from its primary mission. So, as I say, this needs to be very carefully thought through, and I'm hoping that the sort of people who might put their minds to it are, from across society, but some of the brighter thinkers from senior elements of the army could say this
Yes.
bit would suit us, this bit won't.
Do you think, in a sense, this might have been rushed, Sir Simon? It's
I
something that
do.
needed to germinate a little.
It's been around for a while, Nick, as you know. Even David Cameron with the big society.
Oh, yes.
There are elements of this in it, as you well know. Hence the whole thing about serving your community, building individual resilience, giving people a sense of purpose. It's the military side of it which, of course, attracts the attention.
Of course.
But I'd have no problem if somebody said, given the state of the world, the state of society, if there was a properly constituted royal commission, you name it, that was prepared to take a really good look at this. And my great cry is always succeed slowly, don't fail quickly. And that would be my strong advice. Get the idea out there, run it up the flagpole, see who salutes it, and don't try and offer a solution now, but say, here's an issue, here's a problem, here's a potential solution that might serve a number of purposes if properly implemented.
What was that slogan again, Simon? Succeed slowly? What was it?
Succeed slowly, don't fail quickly.
Where were you when I was trying to get my sons to do their homework? If only I'd known that then, I might have actually got them to do some. Sir Simon Mayall, thank you. Lieutenant General, former Deputy Chief of the Defence Staff, 13 after 7. Listening, Elisabeth Braw, who's a security policy expert and senior fellow at the Atlantic Council. What do you think this might bring for 18, 19-year-olds? Good morning.
Good morning. So, if done well, which is clearly what everybody would want it to be, it would be a successful scheme of the kind that Norway runs, and I think
that's the piece you wrote yesterday, I believe, how it works well in Norway. So, what does it achieve in Norway, Elisabeth?
What it achieves is that it becomes extremely competitive, and it becomes, as a result, a desirable option for young people. So if everybody's assessed and only a few are selected, then by definition, you want to be one of the few selected, and it almost doesn't matter what the content is of what you'll be doing. You are so keen on being one of the few who are selected that you will be excited to participate if you are selected. But this seems to have been thought up very quickly and then rolled out even quicker without consideration of details of how it would actually be working in the UK.
So in Norway, a teenager can opt to do some kind of community service, can they, Elisabeth? And how does it work?
So Norway only has the military option.
So I'm so sorry. Right, okay.
Yep, if you're 18, you are assessed for military service. Everybody's assessed, and if you're one of the lucky, around 17% who are considered among the top performers in these assessment tests, you are selected for military service, and as a result, you have an incredible entry on your CV, and that sets you off on a very good start in life. And we should also remember that this also gets the armed forces, the very top performers of any year group,